All right, good evening, Super Metroid fans. We're back for some round 3 Swiss action in the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. I'm the Hockey Towner. I'll be joined shortly by Pliskin LD. He'll be joining us in the commentary booth tonight for a very, very special race. Reverse boss order is the category. And I think we are joined by Pliskin. Here he is. So welcome in, Pliskin. Just about to get started here. Underway with this RBO matchup. This is a very special race in that neither one of these runners has a PB in this category. So I think we're going to see some very, very interesting stuff tonight. Looks like our runners are readied up. Pliskin, let's hear your voice. Where are you?
Hey, how's everyone doing? How's it going, Hockey?
I'm doing great, Pliskin. I hope you're well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Looks like our runners have just started. I think FrenchLightningJohn going with some OG SRL timing there. His timer starting at negative 5.7 seconds.
I'd respect that.
Our runners starting on Sirius Station. Last time I made an Eiffel 65 reference. I don't know what other kind of blue reference I can make. Pliskin, maybe you can help me out.
I don't know. Eiffel's a pretty good one.
Because when you're on Sirius Station, you're just saying, I'm blue, dabba-dee, dabba-da, you know? So it looks like our runners are making their escape off of Sirius Station. We'll see if they run into some magnet stairs or some steam RNG. RNG is just a fancy speedrun term for luck, I understand, but
We got a 44 and a 43 Sarah's time. That's pretty nice.
a lot faster than me, but that's really not saying that much.
Better than I can do as well.
But see, Pliskin, you got the advantage. You got that Xbox controller.
Yeah, that's right. I see Kip in the crowd. I'm sure he likes that one.
So this is not only a special race in that it's RBO between MassHesteria and FrenchLightningJohn, neither of which, again, have a PB in this category, but the other 8 p.m. race going on right now is also an RBO race. That's over on, just let me check my notes here. That's over on SpeedGaming 2 between Crocomeyer and Maniacal. And I'm getting word that this is only the second and third times that RBO has been run in a multi-category tournament. Looked like John went with Moonfall for the reverse climb. MassHesteria going with standard gravity, obeying the laws of physics. But Both our runners heading down to Retro Brinstar, again bathed in blue light, just like on series. They just can't escape the blue memes and picking up their Morph Ball and first missile packs. John with a good elevator there. And Mass making his way through the construction zone to head back up the elevator as well. Nice gap skips from John as he heads up the climb, going with, looked like he started with wall jumps. Now switching to ledge grabs. Pliskin, I'm always really impressed by runners when they do the climb, whether they do wall jumps or ledge grabs, but they just make it look so fluent, so smooth. Very impressive stuff.
I definitely agree with that. It's not the easiest thing in here.
Both the runners are going to make their way back up to Criteria through the parlor and head down to Bomb Chorizo. For the longest time, I thought the boss's name was Bomb Chorizo, but it turns out that that's just a type of sausage. But I could understand why a mistake like that could be made. You know, it's biomechanical bird statue holding a bomb item versus spicy sausage. You know, it's an easy mistake to make.
I'd like to agree with you, Hockey, but I don't think I can.
I'm certainly not going to hold that against you, Pliskin. John having a really clean Bomb Chorizo fight. He avoided the decapitation animation on BT there. MassHesteria blowing open BT's chest, rearming missiles. Oh, but he gets the decapitation animation. He has to finish off BT with the pea shooter. But still a really nice fight from Mass as John heads up back into Parlor and perfectly executed Alcatraz escape. We'll see Mass go for Alcatraz here. Well executed, got it on the second try. Very nice from Mass. So John will be the first to get down into Green Brinstar. He'll be going for the early Supers Mock Ball. So be able to pass under those gates and maintain his full forward speed to just roll under those gates without having to use Speed Booster.
And he pulled off really smooth there.
I think despite these runners, I'm not trying to belabor the point of them not having an RBO PB, because I guess the stipulation for this tournament was you need to have an any percent, 100%, and a GT Classic PB. But both these runners are very accomplished in the other categories. So, I mean, RBO is a little bit more on the esoteric side. It's definitely a punishing category, but we're excited to see what these two runners can do in this race.
John showing off a little bit there with
Oh, you're right, Pliskin. He's going for the Moon Dance. So he's actually building up his fall speed, clip between that block and the rest of the world. He's going to use that to propel himself down to the bottom of Green Brinstar shaft to get some power bombs much earlier than if he didn't do the moon dance. Meanwhile, Mass is picking up the charge missiles and heading downstairs to get the charge beam. So, Plisk, you gotta tell me, why do you think they call that item the charge beam?
Hockey, I think it's because if you hold the button, it charges up and you get a bigger shot. That'd be my guess, anyhow.
I think that's an excellent guess, an astute observation from Pliskin. That is the charge beam. So John's still building up his fall speed. I don't exactly know how this mechanic works. I've seen it executed by someone like Shiny Zenny. It looks like he's finished now. John, that is. John's done building up his fall speed. I'm not saying Zenny is finished. Well executed from John there to get to the bottom of the Green Brinstar shaft. Meanwhile, MassHesteria with a really nice red tower climb. So you can see Mass here going with the alpha power bombs, a bit more conventional strategy of routing. But John's got some major pickups to get at the bottom of Brinstar here. He's got an energy tank, super missile pack, and power bombs. So pretty stacked bottom of Brinstar. Then execute that moon dance. It pays off quite handsomely. So an important characteristic of this RBO category is that our runners are going to have enough power bombs to execute the Crystal Flash. Plus, you've seen the Crystal Flash in action.
I have.
Is there anything you particularly like about it?
Blinding light.
Absolutely. Yeah, you first learn about the Crystal Flash in the intro of the game, but they don't actually tell you really how to do it. It's just very implicitly, it's implied, implicitly implied. Yes, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. But it's definitely a very, very vital part of this, running this category.
MassHesteria getting a refill there. I like to quote hockey here: more ammo, more better.
Thank you, Pliskin. Looks like Mass is going to be heading up to Gauntlet. Meanwhile, FrenchLightningJohn is cleaning out Pink Brinstar, grabbing the missile pack, grabbed the wave tank, and now grabbing his charge beam. So Mass with a couple of really crucial crucial wall jumps there. That's very, very difficult. A very small window to execute both of those wall jumps. And now I believe he took a safety save, right, Pliska?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was doing there. I would.
Absolutely, yeah. Gauntlet is very punishing by itself, but with only power suit and only one extra E-tank, you know, it's very, very deadly. John picking up another PB pack, guarded by those side hoppers, and now he'll be heading all the way to the right at the end of Retro Brinstar to pick up that ceiling E-tank.
MassHesteria made it through his gauntlet run.
All right, so FrenchLightningJohn making his way down Green Hill Zone. MassHesteria accomplished what he came to do. He got the Gauntlet E-tank, filling up at the ship once more. So kind of the hallmark, I think, of this category is there's this, you know, the beginning is kind of the prologue. All the runners are picking up the items they need to survive going down into Lower Norfair without Varia suit, without gravity suit, without any major movement items. So a very, very punishing category. So they're just kind of strapping themselves up with as much ammunition and items as they can collect now. We saw John pick up the Spazer. A much maligned item in the Super Metroid community for some reason. I think it's the greatest item ever. What's your take on Spazer, Pliskin?
You know, I'm actually kind of neutral on it. I could take it or leave it.
Are you saying that you are the Switzerland of Spazer Beam?
That's what I'm saying.
John with a nice mock ball there at the entrance to ice, but as you can see, runners is taking constant heat damage from these superheated rooms because he does not have Varia suit. This little set piece here, grabbing Ice Beam, is very, very challenging. The runner could soft lock themselves with not enough energy to actually make their escape. But I like that play from John there, just taking the little ceiling route there, little midair bomb. Very nice stuff from John. Meanwhile, MassHesteria picking up high jump boots. So it looks like we have a little high five here. But John has already picked up Ice Beam, whereas Mass has not, so he'll be heading up to go grab it, I'm sure. That's very clever for Mass to take a safety there, for the very reason I just said, that grabbing Ice Beam in this RBO category can be deadly. You can leave yourself without enough energy to leave. But it looks like he's heading straight for Bubble Mountain. Maybe he plans to grab Ice on the way out. So MassHesteria probably going to take a safety here at Bubble Mountain. That's a really wise play. The lava dive is extra punishing. And now looks like John's going to be heading towards Bubble Mountain himself. Mass with a big leap there. Just couldn't quite get that wall jump to connect. Let's see him back up and try it again. Well done for MassHesteria. He has summited Bubble Mountain. So Mass with a good farm spot here outside Speed. You can see, again, superheated room causing constant heat damage. Can't defeat Kraid first in a reverse boss order category. I like the strategy from John to use the pseudo screw while climbing Bubble Mountain. Makes it a little bit safer. Makes sure you can't. Make sure you won't get hit by that waiver. I think John's a little short on health here, so I think he's trying to farm up some before heading into Speed. But unfortunately, not really getting the drops that he wants. All right, John with 95 energy now. He's gonna head and try to grab Speed, make it up there to get to that farm spot. Cut it extremely close, but he does it very well. Way to go, John. Meanwhile, Mass having full health thanks to all that farming. He's heading into double chamber to grab Wave Beam. So our runners continue their item collection as they get ready for the perilous journey down into Lower Norfair. I'd like to take the time to point out to you, if you don't know, all you viewers out there, that the Super Metroid Multi-Category Tournament 2020 consists of 6 Swiss rounds, so it's a Swiss-style tournament, which will establish a top 16 playoff bracket. And for the top 8 runners in that playoff bracket, there are cash prizes available to the finishers 1 through 8. And those cash prizes were provided generously by the sponsors of this tournament, Mega Cat Studios and Bowls Guarana. So now we got both runners farming up now. Mass making his way through that gate using that wave beam. And he'll begin his slog down to Lower Norfair. The conveniently located Nutella refill, enabling Mass to pick up all that energy. Correction, he's probably got to go to Croc first. I'm getting ahead of myself, Pliskin.
That's alright, Hockey.
Everyone who's viewing it, they're used to me now. It's just stumbling over words, making lots of mistakes, but hey, it's entertaining, isn't it?
And it is. Plenty of clips from your commentating.
Oh my goodness. You sound like you've just been waiting for me to make a mistake back there, Pliskin. Yes, I believe that defeating Croc is absolutely necessary because our runners both have to collect the grapple beam. Otherwise, Meridia would be nigh impossible. Plus, it's an opportunity to pick up another E-Tank, and there's nothing wrong with more E-Tanks. You know, I do say more ammunition, mo better, but more energy, mo better, too.
I'll definitely have to agree with that one. Especially in a run like this.
Well, it's funny, traversing through Norfair, especially Lower Norfair, without any suits, in this Super Metroid speedrun community is known as a hell run. But it's definitely an appropriate name for such an endeavor. So I think John's grabbing another reserve tank here, grabbing the Norfair reserve. Meanwhile, Mass is going to blow away those blocks and get a nice running start to go grab grapple. So John living on the edge a little bit, but I like the play there. Makes it to the farming spot with just enough energy. So Nutella refill from John. Meanwhile, Mass is making his way back up. Now Pliskin, I think he's gonna head to the lower Norfair entrance. But I might be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I think you're right this time.
Outstanding. John opening up against Croc now. Got missiles selected. Fortunately, the Croc fight room is not a superheated room. So they got that going for them, which is nice. John finishes off Croc with no issue whatsoever. Now Mass is going to pick up that Ice Beam. Going with the intended strat, speed booster, allowing him to run underneath the gates. No mock ball required. So Mass has picked up his Ice Beam, and oh my god, FrenchLightningJohn, there's a giant collapsing skeleton in front of him. Did you see that, Pliskin?
I did. That was pretty nice.
How does that skeleton move without any muscles or tissue? It's just bones.
I don't have a very good answer for you there, Hockey. I'll say space.
It might be space. It might also be superconducting electromagnetism. But don't quote me and don't at me, especially Chad. So Mass picking up a refill formerly known as the Sloater's refill. I think now Mass is going to head up to Retro Brinstar to finish his item collection. I think John is already equipped to go down to Lower Norfair. Oh, Pliskin, I was wrong again. Hockey doesn't know the subtleties and nuances of the reverse boss order category. Never has it been more abundantly clear than tonight. Pliskin, looks like we got a raid from SpeedGaming 4. Welcome everybody from SG4 to the Super Metroid multi-category tournament round 3 Swiss action. This reverse boss order race between MassHesteria and FrenchLightningJohn is off to a terrific start.
Welcome everyone.
It gives me great pleasure to be your commentator tonight, but even more to be joined by close friend and confidant of mine, Pliskin LD.
Thank you, Hockey. My pleasure being here.
Looks like John's setting up for that Alpha Spark. Oh, perfectly executed from John. We love the Alpha Spark. Looks like Mass picked up the Waterway E-Tank. Now, Pliskin, let me run this by you because I'm trying to get this to catch on. But Waterway is such a trolley item location in SM Rando that I think it should be called Rando's Bane.
You know, I like that. I think that should work on getting that renamed.
The unbridled support. I love it. So John's picked up X-ray scope. Meanwhile, Mass is back into Big Pink, going for that wave tank. No super missile shenanigans required from MassHesteria. He can just use the intended way. Wave beam opens that gate from the backside and picks up that E-tank. All right, John continuing to live on the edge here. Very low energy of those side hoppers, but he's through cleanly, unscathed. So now Mass heading down to the bottom of Brinstar here, Green Brinstar shaft, like we saw John earlier, but John had the moon dance. So you can see that there's, you know, some route divergence there. John gonna pick up another super pack here, and one of the more well hidden items in the game, I think. Not the most well hidden, but it's certainly up there. What do you think, Pliss?
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It's hard to find.
A lot of subtle cues in this game. The little ledge having a little different tile next to it. Sure, maybe that's the giveaway, but something like the Mama Turtle missiles is just impossible to know that it's there.
I don't know the name of the room, but the missile is down in Norfair that's in the top left corner. You know, the room with the platforms that break away. I think that's
oh yes, right.
Possible one. I think that's the best hidden item in this game.
It's definitely up there. The room right after, like below Ice Beam, right, and right before the so-called Croc Speedway.
Yeah, right there.
Very, very well hidden. Looks like John heading to Gauntlet. Now you getting that wraparound shot, able to spark all the way through Gauntlet. Meanwhile, Mass picking up the supers that John just got. So we're building the tension. We're tightening the spring. The spring is under tension. We're just going to wind it tighter and tighter and tighter as these runners equip themselves to go down and face what's supposed to be the penultimate boss of the game, but we're going to face him first tonight. Couple of good elevators from these runners. Always like to see good elevators from Super Metroid speedrunners. Very clean movement from John heading into Big Pink here. Meanwhile, Mass is picking up this retro Brinstar E-Tank. Those fans of the NES version of Metroid are all too familiar with that E-Tank. So now John picking up Waterway E-Tank as well.
You mean Rando's Bane?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I'm caught red-handed by Pliskin. Yes, the Rando's Bane E-Tank. Oh my goodness. I forgot my own name for it.
It's not gonna catch on too well like that.
You're absolutely right, Pliskin. You're absolutely right. But Mass making his way back through Green Hill Zone. FrenchLightningJohn not far behind, having exited Big Pink into Green Hill Zone of his own. So far, runners have been doing great despite the route divergence. Definitely keeping up with each other. Well, John's back into Norfair. Mass is into Meridia. He must want to pick up something. Maybe Mama Turtle Tank. Good call from John to save here outside the Frogway. Because the next sequences, the next set piece of this run is oh so punishing. John couldn't quite get grappled to connect as he exited the Nutella refill, so he was going to give that another go after recharging. Makes it all the way across. Nicely done from John. But now he's got to do the lava dive. Took too much damage, so he's going to reset. You can see just absolutely how punishing being in the lava and in a superheated room is with Power Suit. I mean, it just absolutely decimates your energy. Meanwhile, Mass making his way through Meridia. The underwater movement is like moving through molasses without that gravity suit. So it looks like Mass is heading up to the top here of Rocky Meridia. I should say Sandy Meridia. Could be looking to grab some more ammunition. John's setting up for his lava dive attempt. Well executed from French Lightning John. He's all the way through into the elevator. That trick just looks so darn hard, especially when you're constantly taking damage like that. French Lightning John showing off that crystal flash. You have to let your energy get low enough and lay a power bomb at just the right time. Otherwise, you'll just end up dying. But John showing off exactly how to do it. Well executed. And John getting green gate glitch. Getting just the right pixel to open up that gate from the wrong side. MassHesteria with some extra ammunition here at Meridia. A very well-placed refill here right outside Golden Chorizo. John's able to fill his energy all the way up. And GT guards one of the best items in the game, the screw attack, but also some super missiles. And fighting GT without charged plasma is very tricky. You can see John mixing it up with GT using charged Spacer Wave ice shots as well as some super missiles, but GT is only damaged by every other super as he grabs one and flings it back at you. Really nice fight from John. So looks like Mass setting up for some grapple jumps here in Aqueduct. So Mass open up against Botwoon here, landing some super missiles after using that ice Metroid clip to get to Botwoon in the first place, but really well executed fight from Mass. John getting plenty of super drops from those rippers outside of GT. Looks like John's setting up for fast pillars after using that farm beam to get those power bomb drops from the violas. If you thought these rooms were punishing casually, they're just absolutely ridiculous in RBO. John making worst room of the game look easy like Sunday morning right there. And if you thought the refill location was great, how about this Firefly E-Tank? Just the perfect top off right before heading even closer to Ridley. I like this play from Mass here to pick up the crab supers. And why is that, Pliskin? Something about ammunition?
That's right, Hockey. More ammunition, more better.
Absolutely. So John not taking any chances here. Making sure he's got enough everything, energy and ammo. That's really clever from John, the way he kind of set his angle down before entering the door to make sure he could hit that block fast enough. And John with a good save here. His energy's looking great. He's definitely got enough ammunition if he needs to crystal flash. Looks like Mass going for the Mama Turtle tank. John's into Wasteland now. He's got to watch out for these Tuskegis. They pack a wallop, but triply, quadruply so without power, or without Varia or Gravity Suit. Almost said Power Suit. Power Suit's what he's got. Without any suits, he'd be toast. John fighting those ninja pirates, metal pirates, whatever you want to call them. He's just got to make it into the next room, so he can use that farm beam. Looks like John didn't quite have enough energy to continue, but he'll give it another try.
He must have got nicked by one of those baddies down there, huh?
Yeah, I think you're right, Pliskin. He was set up. He had grapple beam selected. I think he was going to do a quick farm and then head into the room right outside Ridley's chamber where, you can farm the bugs, you can farm power bombs from the violas. But I think you're right. I think he just took a tiny bit too much damage and it triggered his reserves. But MassHesteria's made it back to North, where he's picked up as much as he's wanted to pick up, I believe. Taking a save here at the Frogway. What really blows my mind about this category, A, that it's possible, and B, just like these little tiny intricacies that you just have to have such good execution. Otherwise, like, you see another reset from John, like, you have to restart. There's no other way about it. But definitely a very punishing category.
Make a good point about it being possible. When I first heard about RBO, I thought it was like a glitched category, like they clip through something or do some type of glitch to make it to the last bosses. It's not really so. They just collect items and proceed.
Absolutely. It's really good observation, Plisk. It just comes down to execution. Can the runners execute to perform the required tricks like the lava dive, and just the thing that blows my mind especially is the heat damage. Like, you're just taking constant damage throughout this set piece of the run. It's just so unnerving. It just really makes for a nail biter of a category. I felt like with Mass choosing to go through Meridia to pick up more E-tanks, pick up more ammunition, I felt like John had a pretty comfy lead. But again, this category is so punishing. Anything can change very rapidly, and I think Mass is making up some serious time. That is absolutely brilliant from MassHesteria. First try lava dive. Excellent job from Mass. Alright, John's made it outside Ridley's room. He's going to farm using that grapple beam. Looks like Mass has made it to Lower Norfair now. He's triggered his reserve, so he's looking to Crystal Flash. Very nice for Mass as well with the green gate glitch. I believe that was the third try. John's got all the ammunition he wants. He's going to top it off right before he heads in and executes another Crystal Flash. Ooh, I think that power bomb actually pushed him out of position from the Crystal Flash, but he somehow managed to get right back on the platform, right back to farming just in the nick of time. So great save from John there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but he picked it up really well.
This RBO category just gets the viewers, gets this commentator just sweating bullets. It's just so unnerving, but makes for a very entertaining race. And John does connect with the Crystal Flash that time. MassHesteria taking energy refill before facing off against, or maybe he won't choose to face off against GT. He might have just picked up Screw Attack since he did pick up all those Meridia items. Alright, John's got full supers. And he's going to deselecting his Spacer and Ice Beam, selecting Power Bomb, so he's going to open up against Ridley with some X Factors. Gets the first one to connect, immediately switches to supers to begin dealing the damage. Delivering an absolute fusillade of supers. Got a deep color change on Ridley, so Ridley has taken some serious damage. Ooh, I think John got a little bit nicked by Ridley's tail there. He's going to trigger his reserves on a reset. Darn. John not having enough energy to continue his Ridley fight, but that was a really strong attempt. MassHesteria is through worst room in the game, relatively unscathed. He heads into Amphitheater now. Let's cheer on these runners, though. I think they're putting on a great performance for us. A great race so far. Really, really tough stuff. So John back into Wasteland now, dealing with those Tuskegis. Meanwhile, Mass is picking up the Firefly E-Tank. So this time, John getting a couple Shine Spark Echoes to connect with those Metal Pirates. Really tidy from John. He won't have to do so much farming in the next room, at least for ammunition.
And that looks way cooler.
Definitely gets the swag points, eh, Pliskin?
That's for sure.
Oh, John's got to be careful. Oh, another reset from John. That's too bad. He took a little bit too much damage falling into the acid there. Triggered his reserves. But he will dust himself off and try again. Meanwhile, Mass now is into the Metal Pirates room. He's got super selected. So he's going to super missile these pirates real quick. It looks like we got a reset from MassHesteria. I didn't see why, though. Right, so Mass is actually in the same room as John right now, the Wasteland, having to battle with those Tuskegas. John's just at the bottom of it, heading into the Metal Pirates. He's going to set up for that Shine Spark. Oh, no. Changed his mind. Oh, another reset from John. That's too bad. Such a tough category. Mass open up against these Metal Pirates. Delivering some supers. Well done. I'll say Mario Mayhem. This race is really heating up, if you know what I mean. You know, because it's Norfair and it's hot, you know, and there's heat damage. Right, Pliskin?
That's true.
You might even say that if these runners, you know, continue to progress through this game, through Lower Norfair, we might even see them boil over. You know, because the heat turned up, you know, boil over, nothing. Oh, man.
Sorry, Hockey. It was a nice attempt.
Well, you know, sometimes as commentary, you got to go for the cringe humor, and I feel like I do that very well. The less laughter, the better, right? So it looks like Mass setting up to do a crystal flash here after letting his reserves trigger.
And it looks like he's going to reset after that little fall in the lava.
Yeah, just like we've been saying, just a very punishing category. Just one little tiny mistake like that results in a reset. But our runners will continue. They will find the confidence, find the determination, and the will to keep going. Because the nice thing about this category, Pliskin, is after Lower Norfair, I mean, the run doesn't get easy. That's coming from somebody who's never even completed it before, but this is absolutely the most challenging part of the run. And it's not that the rest of the run is like easy street, but at least you're not taking constant damage.
And that's true, Hockey. This is a very brutal, harsh spot.
Combination of austere conditions, enemies that hit like trucks, limited resources, timing, the timing of, you know, letting your reserves fire off and then having to crystal flash is just so difficult. Like, even that from John making his way into Wasteland. Like, normally in any percent, you'd see a runner just tank the damage off those spikes and use the damage to propel them through that one tile gap. But in RBO, because you only have Power Suit, you actually have to do like a bomb jump off of there and avoid the spikes entirely because they just do way too much damage. John not quite getting what he wanted against the Metal Pirates there, so he'll have to reset. MassHesteria about to head into the Metal Pirates room. Actually, he's there now. Going to deliver some supers once they turn golden in color. So Mass is through having defeated the Metal Pirates. He's just got to get to a really nice, comfortable farm spot and get that farm beam equipped. Zero Wagon chat making a really good point here, Pliskin. We've seen John have to go pick up the power bombs that were formerly called the power bombs of shame. I think in 100% and in this category RBO, I think they should be more correctly called the power bombs of necessity. But every time John goes through Wasteland, he's got to pick up those power bombs, which costs him a decent amount of time, but more importantly, a decent amount of energy.
Good point.
Freyas in chat with the correction. It's definitely PBs of shame and hundo item. I call them the PBs of necessity and hundo because you cannot get 100% item collection without getting them. So John heading into Ridley here. He's just got to get a nice crystal flash going. Mass fighting the Metal Pirates. Excellent execution and timing by John there, getting that crystal flash just in time. Looks like Mass is set up on a platform to do the same thing, farm up, and then trigger that crystal flash in the nick of time. Oh, John getting a little singed by the acid. He's going to backtrack a little bit and farm up a tiny bit more. MassHesteria just not quite getting what he wanted. He was forced to reset. John continuing to farm. So correct me if I'm wrong, Pliskin, but I think John has enough for another Crystal Flash. But I understand that Crystal Flashing during the Ridley fight is almost impossible.
I do believe you're correct there, Hockey.
So he's just really looking for those big health drops. MassHesteria, though, making really short work of the Metal Pirates. Doing his best to catch back up to John. All right, John satisfied with his health. He's going to give Ridley another shot here. Give both these runners your energy, Chad. Both these runners have been doing a phenomenal job in this extra hard category. John just unloading everything he's got against Ridley here. Firing off his reserves just to get that extra little bit of energy there. Oh, I think John had Ridley there, but that stupid tail just, so punishing.
That was unfortunate.
It just comes down to pixel by pixel positioning there to avoid that tail waiting for Ridley to pick you up. But now we got MassHesteria got into Ridley, giving it a shot. He's got 30 supers on tap, opening with an X Factor. I like this patience from Mass. He's waiting for Ridley to come to him rather than risk it and tank a ton of damage from running into Ridley. He's landed almost all 30 of his supers here. He's got Ridley in a pogo pattern. He's awfully close here. Oh, I think Ridley grabbed him and triggered his reserves. Unfortunately, Mass having to take a death there. Very, very good fight. Very, very close. All right, Mass heading in against those metal pirates again, blasting them away with supers. John making his way back down to Wasteland. While our runners ready up to do battle to the death with that crusty space pelican Ridley, I'd like to take the opportunity to remind all of you out there in Viewerland that the Super Metroid multi-category tournament has plenty of races scheduled during these Swiss rounds. So be sure to check the schedule because we have an absolutely stacked second half of the week starting tomorrow and all the way into the weekend. So make sure to show up to a local speed gaming channel near you and root on your favorite runners as they do battle against Ridley, Mother Brain, and the rest of the Space Pirates. All right, Mass heading in. He's got Power Bomb selected, so you know he's going to open with that X Factor again. MassHesteria just absolutely giving Ridley the business with those super missiles. Very skillful jumping, dodging. Just absolutely showing no fear, taking the fight directly to Ridley, but oh, gets just torched by that tail, but he's got 66 energy. Will it be enough to survive this little cutscene? Oh, so close. That was a great, great fight from MassHesteria. Thank you, Zero Wagon Chad, for the correction. So Ridley doing 100 damage during the explosion. So our runner's got to be finishing the Ridley fight with enough energy to survive while Ridley explodes. And then they'll be able to fill up by grabbing that Ridley E-Tank. right, so very close from both these runners as they ready themselves to do battle with Ridley. John's already executed the Crystal Flash, so he's got nearly full energy. Kip and chat pointing out we could see a double Ridley kill, and this race would be in an absolute dead heat. Looks like John's ready first. He's going to go do battle with that Space Pelican. And right behind him is MassHesteria. Looks like John's re-equipped his full beam combo, finishing off the rest of his super ammo. That was a really, really valiant effort from John, but Ridley just being such a big troll.
That was a really harsh tail whip there.
MassHesteria, though, still kicking, still giving it to the Pelican. Avoiding the fireballs and avoiding that deadly tail. Oh, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. Another good attempt from MassHesteria there. I gotta hand it to these runners for showing just unbelievable resilience in the face of adversity. This is such a hard category. This set piece being the most challenging, the most difficult in the entire run. Suitless Meridia comes down to execution, but there's not things that are constantly trying to kill you.
Do you think hockey more difficult, more better?
More difficult, more better. I mean, I do like a challenge, but at some point, even I've just thrown my controller down in frustration in certain games. So I gotta hand it to both of these runners. I definitely would have quit by now, but I hope they're not listening in because nobody wants them to quit. It is literally anybody's race. We want to see these runners both finish their first RBO category runs. That's the amazing thing about this. This could be an historic moment in Super Metroid speedrunning. So we'll see soon which runner has the execution, has the perseverance, has the grit to make it through Lower Norfair, defeat Ridley, and then, Pliskin, they have to leave Lower Norfair. You think that the challenge ends with beating Ridley, but no, now you gotta leave the joint.
That's true. I'm sure they'll both be sighing huge sighs of relief when they get out of here.
Absolutely. But chat won't be relieved. Chat's going to just keep getting to the edge of their seat as this race intensifies. All right, Mass is through to the penultimate room before Ridley. Just a quick farm session.
That was a good crystal flash. He was down to the single digits on his health.
Couldn't have cut it any closer. So another interesting aspect of this race, Pliskin, is that if John gets to Meridia a little bit ahead of Mass has already fought Batoon. So he can just go straight to Dragon.
It's a good point, Hockey.
So it's anybody's race to win, but I feel like whoever beats Ridley first is going to have a pretty significant lead. Oh, that darn tail of Ridley on Mass. Mass was so close. I think that's got to be the closest he's been through this race. But Mass, refusing to give up, dusts himself off and tries again, gets back into the saddle. Let's hear it for MassHesteria and FrenchLightningJohn in this amazing race. John with a really good Metal Pirates. Definitely those Shine Spark Geckos just paying off. Ripping right through those Metal Pirates. So John has made it back to the penultimate room before Ridley. Mass squaring off against the Metal Pirates, dealing the damage very effectively with those super missiles. So both runners through, they just need to farm up and they can square off against Ridley again. Both runners have executed their crystal flashes, so a quick farm up right before they head into Ridley's room. We have both runners effectively heading into Ridley's room simultaneously, so two Ridley fights now. Both runners opening up with X Factors against Ridley, immediately moving to supers. John taking to the skies against Ridley. Mass has practically got... I think he's done it. I think Mass has done it against Ridley. He's defeated Ridley. He's got plenty of energy left. John just has to deal a couple more supers and charge shots worth of damage to Ridley, and he'll be through as well. John sending a fusillade of missiles, avoiding the tail expertly. Oh, but FrenchLightningJohn just getting trolled. Trolled again by the stupid Space Pelican. He had Ridley at 0 HP. Ridley went down to grab him, but that darn tail. So MassHesteria has defeated Ridley, picking up the Ridley E-Tank, and now farming up all of his ammunition. MassHesteria looking good as he begins moving back through Wasteland. Like we were saying, Pliskiny's not home free yet. He's still got to make his lower Norfair escape. Mass with a good save here. He's got enough ammunition for a Crystal Flash and some reserves left. Alright, this is it for MassHesteria. He does not have any power bombs left. I suppose he could farm the Fire Fleas, but we want to see him just go straight up and out. Go for it.
Nice movement by Mass there, jumping between fireballs, not taking any damage.
Mass has just got to make it past these 3 musketeers, past these 3 key hunters. And he does so. Mass has finished his lower Norfair escape. John into Wasteland again, having to do battle with those Diskegas as he heads toward the Metal Pirates. MassHesteria, though, finding a nice farm spot here above the lava. Oh, unfortunately, John tanking some damage into that second Metal Pirate. He'll have to reset. Mass taking this time to pick up some extra power bomb ammo from these frogs. And John's going to head back down to Wasteland. What is our oft-repeated refrain, Pliskin? More ammunition, something.
More better.
Absolutely. All right, Mass has got full ammunition. His health is looking terrific. And there are no more superheated rooms between here and Brinstar. Has saving ever felt so good for MassHesteria? Just a very, very impressive resilience and perseverance to make it through that utterly challenging section of this run. John's made it through the Metal Pirates, so he's going to head to straight to Farmville. I don't know if that's trademarked, Pliskin, but
I'm not sure, but I like it. I think it fits for this room.
So we're going to see some really interesting movement here from MassHesteria as he heads up into Meridia. We've seen a little bit of it already when he headed up here to grab during his item collection before the Norfair Hell Run. You're going to see a lot of crouch jumping and a lot of freezing of the enemies just to turn them into precisely positioned platforms. Look at that midair freeze of that crab from Mass. Just really impressive stuff, this suitless Meridia. But still some dangers await our runners in Meridia as the fish and the crabs both really pack a punch with only power suit. There's no damage reduction bonuses granted because they haven't picked up Varia or Gravity. John executing a Crystal Flash. There's have full health, nearly full health heading into Ridley here. This Rocky Meridia theme, Pliskin, is so calm and almost serene compared to where they just came from. A massive contrast.
It's very true. It's a really good tune. It really fits. Makes a very good kind of atmospheric, you know.
No, absolutely. So John's got full stupors. He's just looking for more big health and more missiles, perhaps. All right, John's fully strapped up. He's ready to do battle with Ridley. Chat, give John your energy. This is it. Comes down to whoever wants it more between this Space Pelican and French Lightning John. John really punishing Ridley with those supers, landing a ton of them. And a really shifty dive there, or dodge, I should say. Just gets out of the way of Ridley as he swoops and tries to crash down into John. Really just not cooperating today. Very, very good fight from John, but just that darn Pelican.
I'd like to take the opportunity to do another hockey quote here with an unintended pun. That Ridley is neither nice nor fair.
He went back into the vaults for that one, Pliskin. That's terrific stuff. Ridley is playing neither nice nor fair. Absolutely, absolutely, Pliskin. John taking a moment to collect himself before jumping back in the saddle, but just incredible perseverance from French Lightning John here. Alright, Mass making his way up this climb up this corridor. Some pretty nifty strategy using the grapple beam there until he can hop out of the water. Mass using that momentum from that grapple beam to swing himself up, and then a little wall jump action. Oh, but he's got to be careful here. Oh, taking a little death there. But that's all right. Mass does have a safety back at Aqueduct, I believe. Alright, so Mass making his way all the way up the aqueduct. Mass with the ice clip using that Metroid. Very good. And John refusing to let this game get the best of him. He has climbed back into the saddle. Just tremendous competitor. Absolutely love this from John. Mass beginning his climb up to the Coliseum room. Re-equipping those fresh kicks to allow him to jump even higher. Giants made it through the Metal Pirates, delivering those 6 supers to those pirates, blowing them away. Really nice movement from MassHesteria here. And definitely going to take this save before facing Dragon. John's made it to the... What do we call this, Pliskin? We call this Farmville outside Ridley. So John has made it back to Farmville. Farming up that energy. Getting ready to execute that Crystal Flash. But MassHesteria's got an appointment with a very large shrimp. As Mass heads in to face Dragon. Almost said Ridley. Ridley is dead for Mass. An interesting strategy here. I really like this play from Mass, damaging himself down to 28 HP using the turret. And now using a Crystal Flash. But for some reason, couldn't quite get it to fire. John with a crystal flash of his own, bringing his HP all the way up. And unlike the refill stations, I believe the crystal flash fully fills your reserves. Alright, Matt's gonna give this dragon fight another go. French Lightning John just equipping himself before facing off with Ridley. So now MassHesteria executing a perfect crystal flash and getting gooped and picked up by Dragon. Just gotta watch that tail. Dragon just being unbelievably trolly there. And MassHesteria finishes the fight against Dragon with 14 HP. Absolutely clutches it out. Meanwhile, French Lightning John gonna do battle with that dastardly space pelican once again, that Ridley. Mass could not have cut that any closer. That was very impressive, very gutsy play. Little mini commentator cursor saying, watch that tail, and Dragon just delivering like 4 tail smashes right to Samus there. French Lightning John opening up a fusillade of missiles against Ridley after expending all of his super ammunition. Now switching to charge shots. Ridley just being absolutely merciless, just flicking that tail down, just really, really unfair.
You gotta hand it to John, though. He's got some determination. Keep trying.
Absolutely. So Mass with a really nice escape here from Dragon's room, using that grapple beam to kind of bounce off of that little abutment, that little platform there. And having allowed Dragon to grab him while he was in Crystal Flash animation, it gives him a Shine Spark that allows him to escape from the room outside Dragon. I believe, help me out, Chad, what is that room called? I think it's... Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Can't think of it. The Precious Room, there we go. I knew I would remember. Got to it before chat did. But allows you to escape from Dragon's room up through the Precious Room using a Shine Spark. So Mass taking a save there and also refilling his energy completely. And another save for good measure as he continues on. And John's made it back to Farmville. He'll begin his farming. Really nice space jump rhythm from Mass there as he crosses Coliseum again. Space jump is a terrific movement item, even though we pick it up relatively late in the game in the intended route. But makes getting through Cack Attack Alley without any suits not so bad. Alright, John has executed his Crystal Flash, so he'll be readying up to do battle with Ridley. Mass making his way through Sandy Meridia. Probably going to be entering Wreck Ship kind of the back way, the intended way that the game routes you on after you finish up Wreck Ship. Through the Forgotten Highway, as it's called. But looking like he's going to go grab Plasma first. Increasing the firepower of his arm cannon to make the rest of the game just a little bit easier. Just an incredibly difficult category. Alright, John squaring up again to do battle with Ridley. Opening up with an X Factor. I didn't see what happened to John. I think he must have taken too much damage. I was refreshing the stream. But tough luck for John there.
Yeah, Ridley kind of went Super Mario on John there and shot a bunch of fireballs down on him.
Oh, wow. That's really tough. And yes, it does look like MassHesteria is heading to the Forgotten Highway. As John makes his way back down Wasteland to go square up with those metal pirates first. Alright, Mass has made it back to the surface of Zebus. Right outside the wrecked ship. John, those through the metal pirates, heading back to Farmville.
So, Hockey, how happy are you with MassHesteria taking this route? Because I know you like the intended routes.
Oh, I absolutely love this part of the game, and you just barely ever get to see any of it. The only time you would ever see it really in a casual playthrough is if you don't know to bomb the Meridia tube or you don't figure it out on your own. It's such an interesting way to intend the player or the runner to go through the game. But yeah, I just absolutely love to get to see these screens. You get to see the East Ocean and the Forgotten Highway, and just everything about it is just very interesting to me because it's so rarely seen. I think only this category and 100% map actually show off this area of the game. But the real prize, unrelated to RBO, if you let me gush a bit more about it, is that you get to Meridia and there's all these locked doors, and the only place it really routes you to is to an already broken tube in Meridia, and then deposits you right back into Brinstar right outside the Meridia tube. So it's kind of like, hey, check it out. There's a broken tube, but then there's also an intact tube. You know, you can put 2 and 2 together. It's just very, very well done. So thank you, Pliskin, for indulging me and letting me gush about what is probably my favorite part of the game that you just don't hardly ever see in a speedrun. And thank you, everybody, for coming to my TED Talk. We got ourselves a couple of boss fights here. MassHesteria is about to open up against Fantoon. John continuing his Ridley fight, landing those super missiles. Oh, I thought John had him that time, but really tough from Ridley. Mass with an off-screen kill of Fantoon, finishing with a plasma shot. I agree, Pliskin, with Kip in chat. Ridley is such a troll. And yes, Maniacal42, welcome in. This is a brand new to this RBO race. Both these runners do not have a PB in reverse boss order.
Well, Kip's definitely right that Ridley's a troll. I still like the name that you called him earlier, a crusty space pelican.
He's absolutely crusty, and we're just... He is just the biggest troll there is. Looks like Mass setting up to spark across the West Ocean now. And John finishing off those metal pirates with some very good speed echoes there, some shine spark echoes. So for MassHesteria, he's only got one boss to go. And that is Kraid. You don't normally fight Kraid with Plasma Beam. Or at least having collected Plasma Beam is what I should say. MassHesteria heading down Red Tower, heading towards Kraid's warehouse. Alright, John blowing away these metal pirates. Little super missile shine spark echo 1-2 punch. MassHesteria is through Kraid's warehouse, heading in to fight Kraid himself. Nice little setup using that bomb jump. Staying in Morph Ball to reduce lag. Mass going for the missile opener, but couldn't quite get the super skate. Oh, wow, interesting. Nice recovery from Mass. Oh, I thought he had it. I really thought he had it. He's got Kraid down to almost 0 HP. And he finishes off Kraid. Well done from Mass. I agree with Kip. I had never seen that before. I thought he had the Kraid quick kill with Kraid lunging towards him. Very interesting. So MassHesteria has defeated all the bosses and will be heading to G4. So not 100% sure what's going on FrenchLightningJohn's side of things. He has not forfeit from the SRL race. Might just be taking a minute just to, you know, take a couple of deep breaths, kind of shake off those Ridley fights, because it's just such a punishing category, very tough category. But everyone here is pulling for you, FrenchLightningJohn. We'd love to see you finish the race. So MassHesteria climbing up Red Tower now. Making his way back to the surface. Really nice space jumps across the hellway there. Looks like Mass has made his all the way back through Terminator on his way to G4. As MassHesteria heads into G4 to sit through the statue cutscene, I regret to inform you that FrenchLightningJohn has forfeit from the race. GG's to John. That was a very, very admirable, commendable effort. A very, very, very punishing category, but we really appreciate you sticking with it for that long and for giving it your very best. I haven't ever completed RBO. I absolutely tip my cap to you, though, John. That was really impressive to keep going for it. So we really look forward to seeing you in action in the rest of the tournament.
Totally agree. It was a very valiant effort.
But in the format of this tournament, there are no wins by default once the race begins. MassHesteria still has to complete this run, his first RBO run. Matt's gonna head into these Metroid rooms because Pliskin, we've got a Metroid infestation down here in Torian.
Luckily, Mass has all the stuff he needs to clean up that infestation, though.
He's got a great beam combo. He's got plenty of supers and regular missiles. Great Torian so far from Mass. Great grouping strats so far. So it looks like Mass isn't going to be going for Baby Skip. He's damaging himself down. Perhaps going for the Baby Skip. Yep, jumps right into the Baby Metroid's claws and allows his energy to be drained all the way down to 1. So Matt's going to have to refill his energy before continuing it on. He'll need at least 300 energy to survive Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam. I like this play from Master, not risking anything, having come this far, taking a save right before Mother Brain. Well executed first try ice Zeb skip. Very nice from Mass as he heads in against Mother Brain 1. A very clean Mother Brain 1 fight. Matt's going to open up against Mother Brain 2. He's got the full beam combo, the charge, ice, wave, plasma. 20 shots will do it. And Mass has done it. He is through Mother Brain 2 into the Rainbow Beam baby cutscene. As they sit through the baby cutscene, the baby Metroid coming to Samus's rescue. Looking ahead to the schedule, we have plenty of Super Metroid action on the docket for tomorrow, Thursday, April 2nd. At 1 p.m., we'll have Sloters 27 versus Enmit. At 3 p.m., June versus J-Chalk. Immediately followed at 4 p.m. by Timo Chun versus Beef Robber. And then a full slate of matches in the primetime slots. At 8 p.m., you'll have Kip versus Galamaz. 9 p.m., Nintoaster versus Andrew. And wrapping up those primetime slots is 10 p.m., P-Toil versus Gameaholic. SG channels are to be announced. So be on the lookout for which channel they're going to be on getting closer to race time. MassHesteria, having sit through the baby cutscene, can now open up against Mother Brain 3 with that Hyper Beam. Thirty-six shots will do it against Mother Brain 3. He's got a great jumping rhythm here, holding that angle up button. All right, Matt's beginning his escape now. Well, Pliskin, this has been a real barn burner of a race. A lot of challenges overcome by both runners. What are your thoughts as Mass makes his escape from Zebus?
I think it was an excellent race. It's lots of nail biting, lots of determination from both players. It was anyone's game for a really long time. I was very happy watching it, and happy to be part of the comms for this. Thanks for talking me into doing comms with you, Hockey.
My pleasure, Pliskin. All right, Mass has completed his spark up the climb. He's into Parlor. Some really tidy wall jumps heading up there as he heads to the ship. And never, I think, in MassHesteria's speedrunning career in Super Metroid has the ship ever looked so good. GG's and congratulations to your winner of tonight's RBO Super Metroid multi-category tournament race against FrenchLightningJohn. MassHesteria is your winner. GG's to him. Absolutely phenomenal run.
Great job, MassHesteria. GG's, man.
All right, we are joined by tonight's winner of the race, MassHesteria. GG's, an absolutely incredible run.
Oh, thanks.
So how does it feel? Walk us through it. I mean, it's your first completed RBO run.
Yeah, that's right. It's exhausting. I'm beat. It was I've been working on a lot of the tech over the last year or so, randos and things like that. And I'm buddies with Kip, and he's a pretty good RBO runner, and we've talked about stuff in the past, and he's given me some thoughts on, for a first time run, how much stuff you should take, which is, I'm sure y'all noticed, I took pretty much about everything I could. But I figured since it was my first time, it wasn't about going fast. It was just about trying to get it done.
Well, and get it done you did. So that was really incredible. Unfortunately, John did forfeit, but it's no reflection on him as a runner. John is a very, very impressive runner. We definitely wish him the best of luck in the rest of the tournament. But it was you were both first timers going up against each other. That's just the way the draw happened to go. I think that was really remarkable.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, yeah, to your point, John's a really good runner, and knowing that, I was like, well, if we have to do any percent, I'm a goner. Like, he's gonna crush me. And so I was really hoping for triple bingo. But I was just like, well, YOLO, I'll just ban any percent and see what we get. So
no, absolutely. It's a really good strategy by you, Mass, heading in, because John is a very, very formidable any percent runner. But looking ahead to the rest of the tournament, what are you most excited to see?
Well, I'm hoping not to do RBO again. That'd be nice.
Well, it's got to be old hat by now, Mass. It's got to be. You got one under your belt. It's all downhill, right?
Yeah. No, I really would like some bingo. I know a lot of people, it's you love it or you hate it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not necessarily good at it, but I'd like to get some of that. And I'm just, this will probably be my biggest win. I'll probably not win too many others unless there's some miracle RBO again in the future. But for me, I'm really excited about the playoffs after the Swiss as well, just to get to watch everybody go and hopefully see somebody run low ice. I promise next week's opponent I'm not going to run low ice.
Oh, man. Well, you're a tremendous competitor, and just really amazing to watch you complete your first RBO run in a race. It was just really, really a treat. Pliskin, you want to add anything?
No, just it was very nice seeing your determination, pulling through and pushing through to that, and getting it done. Good job, Mass.
Thanks, Pliskin.
Absolutely. So, Mass, if you don't have anything else, I think we're going to get things wrapped up here.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys staying on for so long. I didn't know if y'all would want to cut me off, but yeah, thanks for commentating. Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks to John again. It was a great race, and like I said, I respect him a lot as a runner. So,
absolutely, well spoken, Mass, and GG's and congrats on the W. We'll see you in round 4.
Thanks. See you guys.
Well, Pliskin, here we are. We did it.
That we did. This is my first one, and once again, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Pliskin. It was a treat to watch that race, but it was also a treat to have you with us to do commentary. So we thank you for joining us, signing up to do comms, and looking forward to doing it with you in the future.
Thank you, Hockey.
And with that, we're going to sign off tonight. So on behalf of all the fine folks at SpeedGaming and all the tournament organizers of this Super Metroid multi-category tournament, this is the Hockey Towner and Pliskin LD wishing you all a very pleasant evening, and hopefully we will see you next mission.